and this is a W204 chassis, C-Class, 2012. Okay, so your traction control is currently unavailable. That's what those two squiggly lines in back of the car mean. That's that little symbol right there. Okay, so you also have these two lights on here, another squiggly car line, and it says off also. The traction control is off. Okay, so I'm going to diagnose this first. Okay, so I've got my MBII iCarsoft plugged in. Just plugged it into the OBD2 connector, and I'm gonna hit OK here. Diagnose. Go over to Benz, and we're gonna hit OK. OK. And then I'm gonna go down to C-Class. Here it is, 204 C-Class. Gas engine, left-hand steering, and this is a 250 CGI. Then we're going to select manually. We want to go into the ESP module. We want to go into the ESP module. So let's go to read data stream. Okay, so here we have the steering angle sensor. Okay, we see that it's at 359 degrees, and the steering wheel and wheels are straight, so it should be very close to 0 degrees. When I move it, it's not showing me the correct steering angle. See, I'm just moving it. This is straight ahead. I should have a 0 degree angle there, but I don't. So that confirms that the steering angle sensor is not working properly. Most likely somebody removed this steering column and didn't remove the steering wheel and steering angle sensor, and when this wheel was moving freely, it was not put back on in the correct orientation as far as the steering angle sensor is concerned. So that's why we have a very high number for the steering wheel here. The steering angle sensors should be at 0, and it's not. It is reading, so it's plugged in, but it's not in the correct position. Should be at 0 right here, but it's not. Okay, so we're gonna replace this. Okay, so the first step is to disconnect the negative cable of the battery. We have to do that because if we don't, there will be an SRS light on afterwards when we're done, and you have to remove it with a scanner like mine. If you don't have one of those, you're going to have to go somewhere for them to do that for you. They're going to charge you $50 if they're nice. Okay, so you're just going to remove these little clips here from the battery cover, this little plastic cover, and just move this out. And there's your negative cable. Just loosen it up, pull it off, and tuck it away so it doesn't jump back onto the post accidentally. Okay, we're sitting back in the car. Next, we're going to get the steering wheel off. Just make sure you disconnect the negative cable of the battery before you take this steering wheel off. Now, on this model, this is a C-Class, C250. I think it's 2012 or 2011. You see the little indentation there? Right there? you're gonna have to puncture that. That's all it takes, a little screwdriver. Okay, so you're gonna take your screwdriver, put it into the hole. You're gonna feel the resistance. It's a metal clip. Okay, there's one side. Okay, so you're just gonna put the screwdriver through the steering wheel. There's a hole that it's gonna go into. I like to use this orientation here. And as soon as you go straight in, you're gonna feel a metal object. You're gonna move into that metal object a little bit towards the dash. Just you're angling this way a bit, and then you'll feel it. And that's it. Popped out. I'm gonna show you what I'm doing on the inside here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this, and I'm gonna show you what I'm moving here with a screwdriver. And that one's done. Okay, so what's happening here is you're putting the screwdriver. You can see the screwdriver coming through right there, right? There's the tip of it. Okay, so when you come in and you're hitting something here, that's the metal. So you just got to move past it, and now you can see that I'm actually moving that wire. Okay, you have to move the wire all the way to this position over here. And there is some resistance on the wire. It's like a spring. So on both sides, you're doing that. The other one's right there. Okay, now we have a 10mm hex nut that we're going to unscrew. You can use a breaker bar with an extension to get in there, and maybe have a friend hold the steering wheel, or you can do what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my air impact wrench, and that should spin it right off. Here it is. There's your number 10 hex. Okay. Now this steering wheel is already marked. I'm going to remark it because the markings aren't very good. So just mark it where it's currently marked. I like to mark it twice, one on the top and one on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and get a Sharpie. Okay, there we go. Next, you want to remove this electrical connector, and it's the same as the other one. It's got two clips, one on the top up here and one on the bottom. You're just going to depress these clips and pull out. Okay, now you can remove the steering wheel. And there's your steering angle sensor. So this just pulls away. I'm just going to tug on it. So you just grab it. It's better to grab it with two hands and just tug on it. You just pull on it and it comes out. Now, there's going to be an electrical connector on the back. So there it is. That one just disconnected by itself. It looks like someone's been in here before. It looks like someone's been in here before. There's no clip holding this one in, so it just pulled right out. And there's your steering angle sensor. I'm gonna take this over the bench and switch it out with the new one. Okay, so this is my replacement steering angle sensor. I picked this up on eBay. I think it cost me about 150 bucks. This is the old one. We're gonna go ahead and replace it. Now you can see that these are two different colors. This color's brown and this one's black. So you can actually remove this. This one's also broken. So no problem. I'm going to remove this old one and switch the steering angle sensor itself into this black cover here. Okay, so it's pretty simple. You turn this over on its side. There's 3 screws. I've already removed them. There are these little screws. These little screws here. One there, and one there. Okay, that's a 10 Torx. Torx 10. So I just took those 3 screws out. I took those 3 screws out, and then you can just simply remove this. This just pops right off. That comes off. Okay, that's done. And there's the other portion of it. Okay, very easy. Now on this side, this little plastic ring, this goes on here. You can tell, you can match it up because it's got this little space here. This little space here, this goes right on there. It sits nicely there. Okay. So now I'm just going to remove this one, remove those 3 screws, pull the cover out, and put the new steering angle sensor in this one here. Okay, so I've switched it out. Got a new the used steering angle sensors here. This one's going to be working, so I'm just going to plug this little yellow connector back in right there. Okay, so the connector is connected now, and now you're just going to push this on. Now all that's left to do is put the steering wheel back on. Make sure it lines up with your marking lines there. I marked them on the top here and the bottom here. Somebody else marked the sides. So I'm just going to take the steering wheel. Okay. Now we're just going to plug in this connector. Steering wheel. Now we're going to put our steering wheel screw back on. And we're going to put the airbag back on. Make sure it's all the way in. And now the airbag just goes back in. It snaps into place on its own. Just press into it. And that's it. It's on. Now we can connect the battery, reset the steering angle sensor. Okay, so the light's already off in this case. Most of the time you have to turn the steering wheel from lock to lock. And then drive it for about 100 yards. And if your lights are still on, they should turn off.